Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, once again, Internet beware. The signal to noise ratio is about to drop precipitously as the old man is here, one day shorter of being older. It's showtime? Hi guys. How you doing? I'm in queue, but the queue is moving quickly. Couple more player. I'm gonna guess 3 to 5 minutes, and we'll be out of the queue entirely. So while I most assuredly enjoyed my relatively brief time in Arc Raiders, which if the game interests you at all, I would recommend at least trying because it's free for this weekend. Not too big to download either. Is if they have PvE servers at launch, I'm buying it. And if they don't, I'm not. That simple. It's a game I think I would enjoy. I don't think I would enjoy it with hostile players around. It's just not my vibe, you know? I found Tarkov to be interesting watching it some. Was tempted, but didn't want to, get ganked constantly. And also, they had someone put a mod in for single player, and eventually they made single player, added it to the game, but the devs are not awesome. And so I've skipped Tarkov. I have to agree with Shroud, who I was watching earlier, that for him, the game like Arc Raiders is far, far more about the PvE stuff, the monsters, and the loot, than it is the other players. And that's the way I feel. I'm not interested in the interplay with other players. I'm interested in the interplay with the world. But then I have said many times on stream that I do love open world style gameplay, and it does it very, very well. So, because I know that the Arc Raiders devs are huge fans of my stream, I'm sure they're watching. At least one of them is watching on Twitch. Guys, please, PvE servers. I do find the outrage at the PvP players at the potential, even mention of PvE servers, to be hilarious. No, don't take our victims away from us. Everyone who is complaining, every PvP player who is complaining, is one who just wants easy kills. Your game, the game of Arc Raiders you will play, will not be any different if they have PvE servers, except it will be a little bit more competitive. And isn't that what you play PvP for? Generally, silence. Here we go. It's, as we say around here, showtime. Did some more playing offline. Probably should bust out a couple more of the weapons and get a few skill points into them. Hopefully we have got one of our free goodie points so we can finish out our card, which seems to be more difficult to do than it was when they dropped the console game in, because I finished out the entire reward track. Yeah, I know, I'm at the max phrase, thanks, I know. Doesn't look like I've gotten one of my free points. Oh, I have earned a free stamp. Yay! So now we can finish off this goddamn board. There we go. New season level. Thank you. Yes. There we go. We have finished the card. Season levels 5 and 6 completed. New card. Sadly, we had a thing completed, but we couldn't cash it in because all of the appropriate spots were filled. Two-handed melee combat. Well, we can grab the spear back for that and just run outside and murder some bad guys. So that's what I'm going to do. That's right. On the journey, we do have more points from somewhere here in Chapter 1. There it is. We have completed 3 activity cards. More points. Chapter 1 complete. Do we get more points for that? Do we? Do we? No. Why is it saying 1? Claim over here. Ooh! Firebrand's Freedom. A legwear skin. And now, 7 and 8. And into 9. Oh, that's nice. Anyone, for someone who is kind of new at the game, you mean you just reached level 40, but you're literally just playing the main story quest? I really like the game. I like the core gameplay loop. I've always felt that it has a very good core gameplay loop for a lot of people. Not everyone's going to like it. In fact, some people aren't going to understand how anyone could like it. But I think, for me, the core gameplay loop is very satisfying. As far as advice goes, which of the classes did you take? Because each class starts with 3 of the crafting skills. 3 of the trade skills at a higher level. So, for instance, I had armoring, harvesting, and I think weaving were the ones that started at 50. The rest of these I've leveled up. So, if you can take advantage of those to make yourself some gear, that can be a significant plus. So, for me, that would be, harvesting up the materials for weaving and then doing some armoring. For you, it would depend on whichever trade skills you started with at a higher level, depending on which class you chose. I would also try out other weapons. If you're sticking with the initial weapons you got, I'm not doing a good example of that here myself. I started with the musket and rapier, and I've done a little bit with the blunderbuss and the void gauntlet, and a bunch with the hatchet. I'm enjoying the hatchet in this gameplay. Is to try the other weapons. Now, obviously, you don't want to go up against stuff that's on level for you. So just get a couple of levels. You can get it up to like 3 levels really quickly. And just drop a couple of points in to get some of the skills. And try out the skills and see if you like the way it plays. Some people are going to love the huge hitting greatsword. Some people are going to hate that it's so slow. So all of the weapons, they play pretty differently. They all have their strengths. So at your level, trying those out while you're, in a lower level zone where no mob is any real threat to you, just find out which ones feel like fun. Explore the game. Poke around in places. If you're just doing the main story quest, one thing you also might want to look at, or 2 things I should say. One is choosing a city that you want to make sort of your base of operations. For me, it's pretty much always been Oxborough, Everfall. Let me show you where that is. Oxborough City in Everfall. The 2 starting zones are Windsward and Monarch's Bluff, and Everfall is the second sort of zone you'll move into. You didn't even realize when you picked a class, using greatsword and bow and putting all your points in dex and con. That's a perfectly good choice. I think the bow is very, very good. I love the triple shot in bow, where if all 3 shots hit the target or hit a target, you get a really big cooldown on it. So it is a skill that really leverages your ability to put all 3 into the same guy or into a guy. Buying a house is a good is a good thing to do. Now, I will tell you, there are 4 tiers of houses. They cost 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, and 20,000. But your first house, you get a 9,000 discount on, which means you can get a tier 1 for free or a tier 2 for 1,000 gold. If you're level 40, you probably have got, well, let's see, I'm level 33, and I have almost 5,000 gold. I spent 1,000 of that to get this house. I haven't done much with yet. This is a tier 2 house. Tier 3s are bigger usually, and tier 4s are even bigger yet. And there is a couple of game reasons for it. First is if you build, you can make additional storage, and the storage in your house will enlarge the storage in the town that it's in. And you can build as many storage crates as you have as the tier. So I have a tier 2. I could make 2 storage crates, which will increase the storage I have here in town. But also you can get trophies in game that provide buffs. And so you keep them in your house and they provide a permanent buff. I was watching an endgame player earlier, and he has 5 trophies in each of his 3 houses. And each one is adding 5% damage to a particular creature type, like the Lost. And he has 3 of those. That's 15% extra damage. That adds up. So there are practical advantages as well as just dicking around with your house can be fun. Advantages for a house. The other thing you might want to look at is the reputation faction. The faction reputation. There are 3 factions: purple, green, and yellow. Purple is the Syndicate. Yellow is the religious order. I can't remember the name. And then the Marauders are green. They're more commercial based. But they all have weapons and items available as you level up your faction with them. So choose a faction. If you're playing with other people, choose based on what they might be playing. If you're not, choose whichever one sounds like fun. And you can see, for instance, I'm running with the Marauders. You can get quests to increase your rep. I'm at tier 2 with them now, a Gladiator, which opens up the 2nd tier of rewards. And here those are. And you can see that there are weapons and armor for every need. And also a cool way of increasing the value or increasing the skill level, experience level of crafting stuff, of the harvesting, for instance, is to buy these for your extra tokens you get for completing the missions. And these basically will give you a nice XP buff, or bonus, I should say, bonus points. The runes of holding can be used to make bags, so you can carry more stuff around with you. And there are 5 tiers of these, I believe. Maybe 6, not sure. A lot? Looks like 6. So those would be the quick top-of-my-head advice things. Do the crafting that can make stuff that you might find useful. Get a house. Either a tier 1 house for free or a tier 2 house for 1,000 gold, and choose it in a location that is useful for you. You can do it in a starting location, it's fine. For me, I prefer this location. It's a little more centrally located. You can teleport to your inn, which I still have here, I believe. Yep. But you can also teleport to your home. And the higher tier your home, the more often you can teleport there. So that's another advantage. So those are the best I can do on the practical advice, I think. I just finished off that, that, and that. This is the season pass. You get it for completing the journey requirements, and also, and this is a little tougher one to explain, there's a sort of a mini game. That you can play with what's called the activity card. Is it worth doing secondary quest XP? Yeah, sometimes you can get good gear out of it too. So also, any gear you're not using and you know you're never going to use, you want to salvage. So this is sort of a tic-tac-toe type of game. You do activities, you get 4 in a row, it gives you another stamp. You want to fill out the entire board when you can, as that gives you a lot of XP towards the season's journey. It's a long-term thing, not a short-term thing. But for instance, I can get one of these crossed sword boxes filled in by killing 10 enemies in two-handed combat, and so I can just switch to a two-handed weapon and go out and kill some low-level stuff, which is what I'm going to do right now. You mentioned greatsword, you talked me into it. So I have to kill 10 mobs, 10 bad guys with the greatsword. And the value of the non-main story quests, the side quests, kind of depends. To my mind, talking with them is always worth. You can always remove it from your view in the in the upper right corner. You can unpin activities here, and they will no longer appear in the upper right corner. So having all the quests available means, for instance, if you find yourself going to an area for a main story quest where there's a couple of side quests, might as well get them done. Extra XP, extra goodies. If you're interested in story, the story is hit or miss. Some of it's pretty good. Some of it's not. But that's kind of the way with MMOs. A lot of times the stories are hit or miss. Well, hello there. I have my greatsword up to level 2. See? So, getting a few points in a weapon skill and to just try them out a little is something I would recommend. Because you might find, oops. You might find one that you just immediately it clicks for you. You find it to be a blast. Greatsword is 3. You see, it's pretty fast to get the first couple of points, grab a couple of the extra skills, and see if you find things fun. I think that's 4 kills, so I need 6 more. Hi. Okay, I missed 3 times. I hope he doesn't mind. Hi, how you doing? Been able to go to the new area? I have. Since you've been doing the main story quest, you know about the Soul Trials, where it's a one-on-one fight against a big bad NPC, right? So I got to one at level 68 that I just couldn't do. It's the first one I haven't been able to do. I was having terrible input lag, so my excuse, which may or may not be accurate, was that the server was running slow because it was loaded. So I did go through about 3 levels worth of the new content. The thing I was most interested in, and I'm a little disappointed in their implementation, was the catacombs, which are the procedurally generated dungeons, which they said were for up to 3 players. They're not up to 3. They're 3 players. You can sign up as 1, but you're going to get 2 other players with you. And it's the sort of stuff I was really hoping it would just scale to 1. So I'm a little disappointed in that, I have to say. But also they added additional character slots, and pardon my phrasing, I'm an alt-whore. I love leveling up characters in games where I enjoy, and this is a game that I do enjoy, so. There it is. I have completed the kill enemies with 2-handed combat. The mood in the new area is great. It feels a little bit empty, which is odd to say. Can't play that mode with your friends at the moment. You'll be able to. Yeah, you can play it with friends if you're playing with friends. Yes, you would want to group up with 2 others and you can play it together. For that, it looks like a lot of fun. It looks like a blast. I was hoping for 1 to 3, meaning, I could play solo, because I don't have any friends. I have friends. They're just not playing right now. Yeah, so if you've got friends ready to play, then you're set. My complaint should have no bearing on you at all. That's a Lens complaint, not an anybody else complaint. We did get a 3rd greatsword point, and the skyward slash I always liked. Now we'll go back to the hatchet. I'll give him the axe. Right, where are we at? Let's see what else we've got for the card. When I have no pressing desire to do anything specific, I'll look at the activity card and see what I can do. If you've run out of anything that you can reasonably do, you can also re-roll. You get 1 free re-roll, and after that, I think they cost like 100 Azoth, which is not much at all. Capture the flag, rare fish, a lot of resources. Kill corrupted. I think the corrupted, that is a follow. At work right now. I'll pull up with your crew for your next season, add you on Discord. Mm-hmm. Thank you for the follow. All right, I think occasionally I'm going the wrong way. That's what I think. And I have once again managed to go the wrong way. By the way, since you are playing the main story quest, I hope you've gotten your mount at level 20, that's for sure. But your mount, of course, is not as good as my mount. That's right. A giant turkey. Give me just a second here. Where's the thing I'm looking for? That one? That's the one. Had to ban a spammer. Haven't gotten one of those particular type of spammers for quite a while. It's been a couple weeks. I can't remember if these guys are corrupted or not. I think they are. Damn it! I hate it when I hit the wrong button. Oh my god, why isn't it frickin' working? What the hell? My keyboard is completely screwed up. Hold on a minute. That's not the right button. Okay, that's the right button. Oh my god, what the hell was with that? Why did that not go in place? Pardon me. Everything's fine. It's fine. At least you can write it. You want the new mouse, playing the first few days without the DLC. Yeah, and then, so you got in and then they gave it away. That's really good timing. That had to feel like Christmas. Well, okay, not Christmas, but, you know, a nice present regardless. I think these are corrupted. Well, I mean, if you had bought it, they would have refunded it. That's what at least that's what I read, is that they were rewarding it, God damn it, refunding it for people who had bought it recently. All right, are these guys the corrupted? Let's find out. The corrupted. Activity card. They are... Oh, I'm killing enemies in one-handed combat. Are they the corrupted? They're not. They're not the corrupted. But I am killing him with one-handed melee weapon, so I'm finishing off another achieve. It's fine. It's fine. Can't remember which ones the corrupted are. Well, hi. All the way back up the stairs you're making me go. Is that what I'm to understand? That's too far. I don't know if my character's that lazy, but I am. Well, let's see. I don't think the chalky rabbit counts. I am curious, though, so I'm going to find out. I think it does. I think the chalky rabbit counts. I know the gray wolf will. Even though I missed it the first time. Alright, we've got my tanning and skinning up to 40. I can now track medium prey. Where do we have to go? We've got ever been I keep trying to find grizzle maw. I've had that problem in the past too. I'm not sure if it's a spawn issue or what. All right, we'll head northeast. The oops. Oh, I don't get credit for using a one-handed melee weapon if I run over it. The turkey mount was for the Thanksgiving festival. So the festival should be coming up in, ooh, I don't know, a month? Something like that. Right now there's a festival you can partake in, but you would have to be careful. I have done it once. There's a boss named Balthazu who pops up. Doesn't look like he's currently spawned. Oh, there he is, right there. You look for the little purple horned head. Oh, antlered head? Balthazu's Rising. He is a level 65 boss, I think. And so you would have to stay off at a distance. I did partake in a killing of him. Whoop, turkey. Last night, we got a kill on him. I stayed away. I didn't even die once. I stayed at range, was meleeing his little mini mobs that pop up with him. Any way to get more mounts or just buy them? Yeah, you can get them through the events. Not all events will have them. I don't remember if it was a random drop or not. There isn't one for the Halloween event that's currently going on. You can talk to the vendor. Amongst the things he sells, I did buy one thing, this. Patterns for weapons and armor that can be made, and I think they make level 57 weapons. So they're not going to be good for an exceptionally long time. I got a lot of the stuff, the cosmetics and stuff, 2 years ago, I think. I played a lot when they had the console launch. I'm on PC, but the game came back to life, and I feel like they really kind of missed an opportunity. That they could have done a lot more. Darkness in the Brightwood. Meet Jonas. Oh, hi, Jonas. Are we heading into the Brightwood? I think we are.
I hoped time would bring new life to the order was long. No, if Umberto that
I'm skipping through this because I've seen it before and doesn't necessarily make interesting viewing. Got him. Brightwood. Standing 1. I can buy a house here now. Maybe one of these totally not entirely haunted houses would be nice.
It may seem hard to believe, but this was all that remains. The town of, believe it or not. Yes. Now.
Normally, I would be listening to all of this, even if I've seen it before, but it just doesn't feel right for me to do that on stream. Also, it's not well done in the new expansion. In fact, it's pretty terrible in the new expansion. The voice work is awful in the new expansion. It really genuinely is. Well, they killed the big ugly before I could get here. Curse them. They cheated and killed the bad guy before I could, you know, get in here and kill the bad guy. Figure I help the player out there, you know. They're getting attacked, not inspecting it, not paying much attention. It is a game I really like, and I hope now that they've got, again, what it seems to be you know, a new lease on life. People are interested in the game again. I hope they don't screw it up like they did with the console launch. They just kind of, they got the console launch and it seemed like it was being successful, and then they didn't say anything for like 3 weeks. I mean, literally. They didn't do, oh, he's ready to go. All right. Fine then. I guess it's up to me. I can't get by you. Hi. That was not necessary, sir. Note to self, Lens, do yourself a favor. Eat food before you do that. Before you go poking at the big guys who didn't drop anything, that's just not right. I felt they had a real opportunity to leverage after the console launch, and they did nothing. I expected, you know, hey, thanks for the great launch. Here's what we've got coming up in the next couple of weeks, and here's what we're hoping to get out in the next couple of months. Woohoo, thanks. Nothing. They did nothing for like 3 weeks. Tough to build any enthusiasm when you don't give anyone any reasons. So I'm hopeful that now that they've got some people paying attention to them again, maybe, I don't know. Why am I? Ah, there we are. Maybe they'll have a press release in the next week saying, thanks for the great reactions, the positive buzz. We're really pleased that you guys like what we're doing. Here's what we'll be doing next. Unfortunately, I expect they'll let it just vanish again. Not the game, but any possible leverage they might have. Any momentum, if you can have that sort of thing in a game. Alrighty. I need to defort. I need to defort 5 more lost in Walsham. Means I need to find more dudes to kill. Somebody else has been doing a pretty good job with the dude killing, it seems. Yeah, I'll open up an ancient chest in the graveyard. What could possibly go wrong doing that? Other than everything? Got something else here in Walsham we need? It's inside. Oh, it is.
Pastor Pruitt, it is with the utmost urgency and discretion that I author this note. Out of respect for your seniority in Walsham, I choose not to challenge you publicly, but I am disappointed nonetheless. These poor lost souls who have wandered into town may seem to have lost their humanity. But is this not a test of our faith? The decision to bury them seems to me a decision to surrender hope. There simply must be a more humane way to handle this. Please,
Guys?
let us at least discuss the matter. Brother Umberto.
Anyone around? Oh. Gotta say. Oh, we got one. We got another. Two. Just a goodies. Never gonna say no. We need 3 more, huh? Alright, well, that guy pulled a couple of them. I don't know if he pulled them and then killed them or just... He must have. Because I don't see where they came back the very next day. Oh. Apparently he didn't like what he saw in there with the big guy. We need 3 more kills in Walsham. Not kills. Mercies. We need 3 more mercies here in Walsham. Two. Supply crate. I'll take that. Sit down, son. He's not actually my son. Just sounds good. I don't actually have a son that I'm aware of. That would be a surprise. Well, hello there. And that's all I need to talk to Megara Patazis. Okay. I could do that if I could find her on the goddamn compass. There she is.
I'm amazed. You managed to find all these pieces of my past.
Well, I'm skilled.
Sad, isn't it? Reading this is, but rather than make the truth the wedding that took place. Oh, yes. If you.
Do I have to kill Pastor Pruitt again now? I do. I killed him once, you know. 272 spear. The other spear we've got is a 220. Away it goes. 255 shield. Not as good. 287, 225. Farewell. And this will be a new vest. Not sure it's going to be good enough. No. it's got lifesteal instead of health. Almost the same armor. I really like lifesteal. I'm a big fan of lifesteal. So, it goes on. It's a little, much, but that, you know. I have sort of a piratical look about me. So, really, it is kind of appropriate to be, you know, flashy. Not as good. All right, Pruitt, huh? Yeah, we have to kill Pruitt again. We've done it once. We have to go kill him again. Fine, we'll do it. That was easy. Did it all by myself, too, if you ignore the other person who's in here, of course. Don't know why you would. I bailed him out. He wasn't doing that great anyway. He needed my help, clearly. I mean, you know, clearly. I have killed 2 named mobs. The fact it was the same named mob twice is fine as far as the stamps are concerned, so we have a stamp. We have 2. Excellent. Well, that one becomes free, because we immediately get another wild stamp for completing the line. And the leaf icons are mostly for PvP stuff, so we want to get rid of those anyway, because we don't PvP around here. In Lensville, there is no PvP.
Tell me, did you see him?
That is a handsome character, don't you think?
Miserable as a lost dog.
Yeah, he could use
Actually,
glasses
a piece.
to add a more distinguished.
What did you find?
appearance.
Let me see it then. Coward.
All right, we got a new bazooka. I'm sorry, blunderbuss. 280 better than the 287. That's got Vorpal. And it's life stealing again. How can I possibly say no to life stealing? Spoiler, I can't. Learn a couple of musical pieces. Learn a schematic for a pot-belly cast iron stove. We got one. One is read the gravestones. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong with reading the freaking gravestones? Oh, hi, Geist Malachor. Determine the fate of the town's residents. Well, and it turns out it's pretty grim. They had a lot of the people lost. You know, the sort of almost zombie-like characters. Those are the lost. Basically, people who have despaired will be taken over and they'll become lost. And what they did around here... Oh, more of the faith of Umberto and Hewitt. We have to go right back to the goddamn church we were just in. For the 3rd time. What they did is because if you kill people, they return. So they buried them alive. Kind of a bummer. Is Pruitt alive again? He does not seem to be. Okay, here's Jonas.
Concerns has cost this town dearly. Even the most faithful are on the verge of despair. And as we've
Turkey
seen,
time.
that seems to be the true source of this soulless plague. Our hollow prayers and efforts to bury these tragic events are only making matters worse. I cannot bear to witness this tragedy unfold. I am told of a faithful knight who resides west in Ballad's Manor. Sir Galahad? I will seek him out, and if Providence affords, I will return with the hope and the strength to save our town. Brother Umberto.
Hi, Jonas.
It appears the town fell to the loss.
The old,
primarily
slightly
from
skeevy
no
Jonas
signs
brother.
of any defense. I wonder if Brother Umberto sought aid from somewhere else.
He went west to seek Sir Galahad.
Sir Galahad, an honorable. Many of the King Galahad remain. Perhaps Galahad. Yes, you go.
Ding 34. Dun dun. Alright, we'll put 2 points into dexterity. And I think what I want to do is I want to add 25 points to everything to get a little buff. The little buffs, I think, add up. So, like, cooldown reduction here when I get to 25 points. Let's see what else we've got in the season's journey. Activity card. I don't know where Tor Malacht is. I can catch out 3 rare fish is not that easy. Gathering resources just takes like 5 minutes. I don't know where the corrupted are. Maybe further north are the corrupted? I can't remember. I can't remember because I'm old. I can play 2 songs. That I can do. Seriously, I can play a couple of songs. And I will. I'll just stand right here and play 2 songs. Seriously. Novel. Let's see. 46 for pirate flying. 46 appears to be the shortest. It'll have to be on the upright base. Here we go. Missed one. That was amazing. A 4-star performance. Thank you. We just missed 1 note. We made 1 mistake. So we'll play it again. Because we need to play 2 songs. And that should be another 4-star. I'm a natural at playing music. As long as it requires me to use 3 fingers. All right, that is going to be either here, here, or there. Probably the double line. Yeah, I think so. That's a part of 2 lines. Well, we know we're never going to do the PvP stuff, so we'll grab a skull right now. Now, we could grab this. That would give us another point. Sure. Level 10 in the season's journey. Gets me the combat box, health potions, mana potions, regeneration potions. Now, if I was to purchase the premium tier, I would get a legendary sword skin there. Where are we? We're here. That's got to be Galahad. I don't really want to deal with right this second. That's Grizzlemon. We got a bunch of quests over there. Where's the nearest? I'm going to head over there and grab the fast travel point. That makes sense to me. It's turkey time. It will be on my left. After we do a little bit of ziggity-zaggity around this rock. I have reached a new location. Gives me some, XPs. My turkey apparently didn't want to get his feet wet. We wanted to go down here. We've got those 3 to do and a couple more quests we can pick up there and there. We'll fast travel. Since we're at the cap, fast travel really not a big deal right now. I have been in this area a couple of times already. All right, we've got Avenging Audrey. Oh. Hemp. I'll take the hemp. He's not gonna let me. Well, he might. Oh, is he gonna? Nope, he's not gonna. Corrupted. I need to kill 10 corrupted anyway. That's that's a plus. That's a phrase I used to say all the time. That's a plus. My hatchet is now at 14. Somebody shooting at me? No, he was shooting at them. Learn about the hatchet's ultimate abilities in the journal. I've already taken the ultimate ability. Thanks, though, dude. Appreciate the thought. Let's zoom in. Should be in this house. Whatever it is we're looking for here. Hi there, how are you? I'm Lens. Hi there, I'm Lens. I don't think that was called for by anyone, except, you know, maybe a hostile viewer who wants me to suffer. Is that thing going to keep spinning? And me not winning? He's dead. You can stop spinning anytime now. It would be cool if you did. Thank you. I think it's killing 3 NPCs. Really enjoy fishing in MMOs? It depends. I think the fishing mechanic in the game is solid, for sure. I mean, there are some where it kind of sucks. Looking at you, Lord of the Rings Online. And, well, I mean, it has a certain similarity to the real thing. It has a certain quiet, zen quality to it, you know? Okay, he's running away. He's busy. He's got something else. He's a busy guy, you know. He's got shambling to do, I guess. That's north. Well, I've already beat the boss. Is there another guy up here other than the boss to beat? I guess there is. Mahon, the Venomous. That's 2. Oh, he gave me like a disease. Seriously, who does that to another person? We've got a quest there that's due east. Did I ever play Oh, God, yes. I have about 6,000 hours in Latra. They just came out with another expansion. Or announced another expansion, and it's coming shortly. I'm not sure which. Maybe just the announcement? Yeah, I think just the announcement. So I don't think it's out yet. Yeah, they're up to like a level 170 now. It's still going. Their fishing, not very good. But for instance, when they got to Minas Tirith around level 100, I consider Minas Tirith to be the best piece of game architecture that's ever been done. It's a masterpiece. It's great. Yep, still updating. It would feel like a slower, more deliberate, WoW. It would feel pretty similar to WoW Classic. At least that's sort of my sensation of how it would feel. That it would be pretty similar to that. Alright, bad guy up here. He is. We got it. I mean, I was still playing it for every expansion up until the level 160 expansion, I think, where the Corsairs of Umbar. I found it really tedious, like they were trying to stretch out the amount of time it took. It really kind of soured me on the game after almost 20 years. But I will say that there is a ridiculous amount of content in the game. And if you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings books, it has always been very, very respectful of the books. And that would be another reason why, if you're looking for something that you can play at a more deliberate pace that goes a lot slower, concentrates more on the narrative, then the Lord of the Rings is still a completely valid choice.
So, the lieutenants have been defeated.
The character models are dated. Some more than others. But the architectural stuff has continued to get updated and looks great. Now I'm back at the cap again, am I?
So that locket room. Days when we would go to... No, remember.
What else have we got here? Let's see. That is an ice gauntlet. My current ice gauntlet is a 350. All right, well, that one's crap. This hatchet. Not as good as what I'm using. The rapier, I think, is currently... Yeah, that should be fine. Over here, we've got a new necklace. Better. More max health. Same wellness. More health. Fortified instead of empowered. So we'll keep that. Scout greaves. Heavy armor? We don't wear heavy armor around here. More health. Same wellness. Way less max health. And shirking debilitate cleanse. After dodging an attack in a medium equip load, I'm in a light equip mode. Light headwear. Not as good as what I'm wearing. So there are advantages to a subscription to Latro. But it is free to play. The free to play isn't too punitive until you get to into the levels around 30. You start running into things like the small amount of bag space you have. I don't think you get access to the bank. So what I recommend for anyone who wants to play it and then maybe spend a little bit of money, what you can do is you get your character, you create your character, you get him to 30s, or you've decided, hey, I'm having a lot of fun. You subscribe for 1 month. Subscribing for 1 month unlocks all kinds of stuff. But it only unlocks it for characters who you play during that month. So, what you would want to do is create a character in the free-to-play model. If you're having fun, buy 1 month of subscription, and then create a bunch more characters that you think you want to play. Get them through the opening tutorial section, which takes about, I don't know, 45 minutes or an hour. And then they would all have all of that stuff unlocked. And then when you pull the subscription, you keep everything that's unlocked. I'm going to AFK for just a second, refill my coffee cup. I'll be right back. Before I forget, you might want to check. They recently had a free giveaway of an enormous amount of content, and that may still be active. So you'd have to Google and see if it's still active. If it is, it unlocks a whole metric shit ton of content. And I'm back. Yeah, I especially want to emphasize that if you are a fan of the Lord of the Rings, especially the books, but even the movies, it is very, very respectful of that. Also, a significant plus, it has a more mature player base, generally speaking, than probably that and Guild Wars 2 have the most mature player bases, I think. You know, where by I don't mean old, I mean that the people behave like adults. Ow! I got a cache because I'm awesome. We all arrived at about the same time. We all did some damage. We all got some goodies. Life is good. Sorry, I need to collect some resources. Ooh, I got a little bit of corruption on me back there. Oh, we have another one. I'm going in. Another breach. 2 breaches. Super fast. Oh, we're showing another. No, this is the breach that's still showing up on the map. Well, I cleaned this one, although I am showing a good deal of corruption on me personally. I'll shower. It always gets the corruption off. We have 2 one-store minor breach caches to open up. I got a corrupting cowl and a darkened hatchet and a corrupted shard. Where are we off to next? The Lover's Flowers. We have to go there. We also got a bunch of stuff. Okay. Season 10. I killed Corrupted. That's a crossed swords, and the only one of those I've got left is that. So that's pretty easy. I have 2. I can go 1, 2, 1, 1. I need 1 more. And then I can finish out the card. I think. We go 1, 1. Well, that leaves us with 0. No. 1. That leaves us on 1. That leaves us on 1. That leaves us on 1. So we need 1 more of any of these. And we finish out the card. Nice. We got another point in hatchet. Fortifying strikes. Hitting a target with a heavy attack grants fortify, increasing armor. Targets below 30% health. Feral Rush deals 20% more base. Doom, 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 doom. More base. It's a joke. We also had one in Musket, and that will be his. 15% damage increase to all headshots. Multiple targets are hit. I'm not sure how I can hit multiple targets with a single hit. Maybe? Regardless, 15% extra on headshots. Worth it. Everfall. That's right, we're headed north. Wobble, wobble. Oh, turkey. The little blue feather icon over it has nothing to do with it being a turkey. It has with it doing a quest mob. It's a town quest. I have a town quest, 2 of them, to kill 25 turkeys. Used to be if you killed 25 turkeys and you had 2 quests for 25 turkeys, you got credit for both. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think they, quote-unquote, fixed it, which makes me sad. Ooh, Fey Iron, a chunk of crystal, and a chunk of cobalt. What the hell was that? I mean, that wasn't me complaining. I wasn't complaining about that. I was just saying, what the hell was that? Because I was not expecting it. I was not complaining. I'll be clear. Not complaining about good stuff. Just surprised. We need Meadow Lake flowers. Not Meadowlark lemons. That's a real old guy joke right there. Meadowlark lemon was one of the Globetrotters. Even the Globetrotters are, I expect now, an old guy. They're gonna try their luck on me? Yeah, I thought not. Yeah, they're scared. As they should be. Dangerous man. Very dangerous man. Possible I'm hallucinating. That's not a normal looking villager. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's just not a normal looking villager. One more. One more flower. Yeah, I showed them a little acrobatic exposition there. Back to Tekla Petrowski again. God, she is really demanding. I guess that's what happens when you're named after a Stephen Brust book. Tekla. He wrote 2 really, really good books in a series. And then he wrote Tekla. And the entire series went to shit. Sorry, Steve, if you're watching. We actually have a friend in common.
Your willingness to help a stranger. We must be worried sick. You needn't worry about it.
Needn't worry about you, but you give me another quest. Oh, Tekla, Tekla, Tekla. That's trash. I can never remember how many we're supposed to have. Aha, there we are. 220, and that is 252. 281. Yeah. That is a heavy chest. I don't wear heavy armor, man. I just don't do it. Man's got to draw the line somewhere, and that's where I draw the line. If you're not familiar, there are 3 weights of armor, medium, light, and heavy. Here I'm wearing 2 pieces of medium, but the total weight is under 13, so for dodging purposes, I count as light. If you keep it under 23, medium, and then under 50, basically means you're walking around with an entire ironmonger's shop on you. You see, that person has a panda. The panda bear is a very cute mount, but the turkey, obviously superior in every single way. Bottle it up. Try to piece together the strange alchemical recipe. I don't know if I know all the icons on the top there. Got all the icons that are in. Ooh, we've got Balfazu. I'm going to try to get to Balfazu. Hopefully he'll be like 95% dead. I'll make a couple of shots. I'll get full credit. That would be ideal. Balfazu is the bad guy for the Halloween event. He is level 65. And I am not. So I took part in a kill on him yesterday. There were, I don't know, 30 people? Maybe more. And obviously the level 60 whatevers were doing the heavy lifting. But I tried to clean up as much as I could from the smaller mobs that were around, while still getting off shots at Balthazar. I shouldn't have followed this guy's example, but I did, so. I do also recommend binding yourself to somebody's camp if you're going to do a fight with these. Like that. Balthazu is at full health. So much for my dream of him being 95% dead. So now I will swap back into my weapon. Let me come back over here and grab a quick meal. Try and keep up a little regen, as he has a constant dot for being in the area. And I can actually do good damage against these things because I'm about the same level as them. And I think killing them drops a heal and a pumpkin head that you can throw at Balthazar for extra effect. He curses me. I hope it wasn't something I said. I would hate to have made him angry. Seeking out the green circles.
You will suffer, Maggot!
Hey, Maggot was uncalled for, okay? Wow, he's dying fast. There are a few people here who are bazooka-ing him down.
The shadows will claim your soul!
Whoop. Oh, that's the suck he does. I'd forgotten about that.
Your stark terror sustains us!
My stark terror sustains him. So, I mean, see, I'm doing nice things for him. So hopefully he will drop nice things for me. Oh, you little shits. I'm trying to get my shots off, and you're just not being helpful to me at all.
Your stark terror sustains us! Crush you!
I think he's mad at us. I'm not sure. What do you think?
My master will be saying.
There we go. We got his ichor,
No escape
some
from
bewitched
terror.
leggings, and
No
a costume.
one can ever banish the eternal darkness.
There were some heavy hitters here who were dishing out really big amounts of damage, because it took maybe 4 or 5 times as long last night when I did this, not in a group, just with a batch of people. That I think the number of people was larger, but they did not kill it that frickin' fast. That was beat sticking. Now, obviously, I didn't do much damage in the grand scheme of things. I killed a few of the little pumpkin-headed dudes, which is great. Keeps them off of the other people. Did what damage I could to Balthazu himself. Didn't die. That's 2 in a row without dying. Most of the time, usually, When I was on higher level characters, he kills. Because he hits really hard. And also has that ongoing dot damage. I need a gator, a crockle gator from this area. For affection, a rep quest. Oh, like that, say, would be exactly what I was talking about. What would be better was if I hadn't wasted an attack. But, you know. I've got a big gun. Does he have a large fang on him? Please? He has a large fang. What else we got here? We got a quest there. Bottle it up. I gotta keep it bottled up? Is that like keeping it separated? Could you move? Thank you. Pretty much headed the right for whoever the NPC or quest giver is. Nice, I got the thing in on Balthazu. That's cool. That's a nice bonus. Hi. Well, there's a thing in there, but it's got a door that I can't open. What the heck? Oh, well, yeah. It's so secure with the other door being there. 6 alchemy bottles. A bottle of forgotten alchemy. Might it just be, say, a nice bottle of aged brandy? Maybe an Armagnac? Sorry, dude, who's just outside and didn't notice that I killed your friend. Well, maybe they're not really, they don't consider each other friends. Maybe they just consider each other more like coworkers. Well, yeah, we're lost, but, yeah. We're friendly, but we're not friends, you know? Somebody chopped down a big-ass tree. I need one more bottle of forgotten goodness. Alchemical stuffs. But first we'll grab a soul sprout. Night is falling here in Eternal. That's my award-winning turkey impersonation. It's won countless awards. Because you can't count if there's none. The counting numbers start with 1.
Superiority. I would not.
Zara Torner. Alright, we go clean that up. What do we have over here? Hope in a bottle. Wasn't that a song by the Police? No, that was Message in a Bottle. Old guy music reference. Yeah, I know. Not all of my references are old guy references. Only 97.5%. We've almost got our harvesting to 69. Well, this should be enough to make it nice. I like to think that I'm immune to the internet silliness, but when I see 69, my brain does it on its own. It just goes nice. I don't even think about it anymore. My brain just goes nice. Well, wait, no, I don't want to. I don't want to make that meme joke, but the brain doesn't care. The brain wants what the brain wants. What am I looking for? Open a bottle. Well, they're going to want me to run around here with the pirates. I'm not sure I feel like running around with the pirates. The fast travel's back at the Syndicate. Or don't know how many turkeys we've gotten. We might have gotten enough for the first tier, if in fact there are 2 tiers for it. I got poultry and feathers. Let's go ahead and recall to our house. Another crockle gator. Is it going to interrupt me? Don't interrupt me while I'm fast traveling. Thank you. Very polite crockle gator. I am not yet 69. My birthday, however, is tomorrow. Currently 34, and you feel like you'll never give up your hobby? I first bought my first computer, and I bought it to play games on when I turned 20. Well, about there. It was... Here's a giveaway. It was 79 or 80. So, yeah, I have been playing computer games and video games for 45 years. Bonk. And I'm fortunate. I'm retired, so I can do it as much as I want, and I do it a lot. Yeah, and there's no reason that it can't be a part, if not a bit, even a big part of your recreation. It's always been a big part of my recreation.
We will never give up the fight, and in the end, we will emerge victorious.
Ding 35. No, the 69 thing is just, it's a meme. No, I'm going to be 65 tomorrow. Those are some really good pants that I can't wear for a very long time. I got a 710, but I got, holy shit, I got legendary pants for defeating Belfazu. They're medium, so I could wear them. Let's see, wellness increases health by 1%. Reduces slash damage, additional fire damage done. Base max health. They're not a great set, or a great thing, you know, great stats for this build, but it also has a gem slot, and it's legendary, so, yeah, that's a keeper. Not to put too fine a point on it. Thank you very much. You are too kind. I don't like to make a big deal out of it, because I'm not a huge fan of my birthday. I think like a lot of people, you get to a certain age. That's why I don't even, normally, I don't refer to it as my birthday. It's maybe a bit morbid, but I refer to it as my annual mortality reminder day. So yeah, that is a bit morbid, I suppose. I thought I got a costume as well. That go into apparel? No. Patterns. Consumables? Maybe? Utilities? Utilities, Lost Monarch costume. Yeah, okay, that did go into the utilities. Yes, I refer to it as my annual mortality reminder day, or also as another lap around the sun, and boy are my legs tired. I can still remember though when I just freaking loved birthdays. But that childhood joy goes away a bit over the years, and you just go, again? Now, granted, the alternative of not having your birthday is clearly worse.
Surely you've heard a monster stalks eternum. Oh, this blast, the malady, this Balfazoo's.
I already killed him. I've killed him twice, you big whiner. I don't know why I don't seem to be getting any experience rep for it. Maybe you've got to be at cap? I don't know. Oh, I didn't open my goodie box. Here we go. The Night Vale Cauldron Cache. Ooh. Cauldron coins and tokens. This was like 25 gold last time. It's like, what? Seriously? That all? 48 gold. That's better. It's still not like a lot. And we're up to 19 of the tokens now, I think.
Surely you've heard the blood-curdling.
Yeah.
Stalks eternum.
God, you're blabby. Yeah, 19 tokens. So I used 3 earlier because I wanted to see what level the weapons patterns were. They're 57. But I have to be in the second tier to get the higher tier of goodies, or you can see I already have unlocked a lot of the cosmetics. I did that in a previous year. I do not remember which one. But I don't know why I'm not getting any rep. Maybe you have to be at a certain level to get any rep. And I'm not. But somebody just, they just did a musical piece for us. Group contribution XP gain. Well, that would require me to play in a group. I'm a solo player. What can I say? Yes, I know it's an MMORPG, but mostly I play solo. At some point, did I think about quitting video games? No, never. I got into games at like 9 or 10. And by got into games, I meant seriously. I got into board wargaming because my brother bought one of the Avalon Hill games, Africa Corps. And then at, I don't know, 9 or 10, the first thing on my Christmas list was another game, a war game called Luftwaffe. And I played the living hell out of it. And so for me, it was games. And then through a very complicated series of events, I got into Dungeons and Dragons. I bought first edition, second printing D&D in 75. And that was it, man. I was sold on games. So I've played literally countless hours of Dungeons and Dragons and then computer games since my first Apple II Plus that I bought 45 years ago. Reading and computer games. Those have always been my favorite, recreations. Started seeing the technological advances, 3D stuff. I can distinctly remember, actually, a friend of mine just had his birthday. He's a couple years older than me. And I remember him coming over, to my house and me showing him a game on it wasn't on the Apple II Plus, it was on one of the early PCs. It was, I think, Mech Warrior 2. And the opening cinematic for that was, was computer generated. And I said, it's not going to be long until games are going to look as good as this. And then within like 4 or 5 years, they did. And they just keep going. For me, at the cutting edge, I can't really tell the difference anymore. I don't play at 4K because to me, I don't see the difference between 4K and 2K, 1980 by 1940 by 2K by 1K. 1080. Yeah, 1080p. If it's there, I believe people when they tell me it's there. I believe them when they tell me they can tell the difference. I can't tell the difference. So for me, the graphical stuff doesn't have the impact that it used to, but the imagination in the games, that's stuff that I never would have thought about, is how much the gaming landscape has broadened and how many more people play. Because for most of that 45 years I've been playing on computers, nobody did it. Tiny little sliver of people did it. That started to change with the internet.
You're back. Losing Audrey nearly.
And the iPhone, where you could actually have a powerful computer you could hold in your hand. Those were like the biggest moments. All right, let's put away our stuff that we don't need to be carrying around with us. Oop, we got furnishing. We got fresh flowers. Well, that's nice. Who doesn't like fresh flowers? We'll put the flowers in our house. I never played BG1 or 2. I have played some BG3. The problem with Baldur's Gate 3 for me is I suffer from analysis paralysis. I play a character, I play for a couple of hours, I see something interesting, and I decide I want to start a new character, and I play a new character for a couple of hours, and, hey, I want to try this. There are so many options, I cannot stick with one. So I've probably played the game for 30 hours, and probably on 8 different characters. For me, the earliest sort of actual D&D type game was Wizardry, the original Wizardry. Yeah, it's too many options. That shouldn't be a problem. I should be an adult and be able to say, I can pick one and stick with it. But evidently I'm not an adult because I can't pick one and stick with it. PoE, I can understand that. The advantage to PoE though, when I've been playing PoE and I'm in a league that I love, I have played as many as 10 characters in a league. By played, I mean got them into maps. Didn't get them into, deep red maps or anything like that, but I got them into at least the white maps. And playing another character was always an attraction, often driven by getting a very cool unique and looking up, okay, this unique has this ability. It's good for this build. Does that build sound like fun? Yes, it sounds like fun. Time for me to roll up a new character. In PoE, because the nature of it is a lot finer grained, you can play in your standard 3-month league. You can easily play multiple characters pretty quickly, well into maps. There, I got some nice flowers over here by my bed. It's pretty. But yeah, I understand. For instance, for me with PoE, picking a league starter has always been difficult. Other than that, I've been pretty able to play most of the builds that sound interesting to me in the time of a league. But again, as a retired guy, it's, oh, which games do I want to play today? So I have that advantage. I can say, well, there's 3 builds I want to do for sure this league for PoE, and I've got the time. And I understand that that is my good fortune. I am lucky to be able to say that. Most people don't have that kind of time. You know, and I'm not married, don't have any kids. So the amount of things that demand my time is also very, very limited. And I don't think most people with a spouse and kids would want to trade that in for just being able to just play games all the time and not at work. Woo, 50! We hit 50! We can make rugged leather. Resonant hide and rugged leather. Oh my. Leather. Remember the second came out, the first day you made 4 characters, you were curious to try the other classes. Well, one of my issues with PoE 2 is that it feels so slow at the start that you really can't get into the character and find out if it's something you want to play without getting pretty deep into it. Is that everything? I think that's everything. What is our armor making at? Understand you work from 7:30 a.m. to 6. You only play a couple of hours during the week, and the weekends you can get 30 levels of New World. Yep. That's really the common way that most people are going to do. Most, working people are going to work their lives. They're going to work during the week, and they're going to play as much as they comfortably can during the weekend, and they can squeeze some hours in during the week. That's great, too. I doubt these boots are really all that magnificent. It says magnificent, but I'm not sure I believe them. What are we currently at? We are at 64, so I should be able to, in theory, make some sateen stuff. We should have what? 320 gear score. My current gear score for my light armor stuff is 350. Ooh, maybe the chest piece. We'll see if we can make a better chest piece. I'm going to try to make a better chest piece. It's light armor, so that'll be sateen shirt or dress. I have worn a dress on this character. It had better stats. Wait, why am I not? It says 50. Oh, I don't have enough sateen or shadow fur. Well, I can make the sateen. I need to make 5 more sateen. I'll do that. Not sure about the shadow fur, though. 5 sateen. Shadow fur? I'm betting probably not. Rugged leather, resonant hide. Is the shadow fur looted? Must be. How much shadow fur would I need for that? He asks. Marauder Ranger Seal. I think that's to change the stats? I'm not sure. Wellness, health. Wellness, health. Wellness health. I am confused as to why there are 4. Ah, that's what gives you the extra stats. Changing the stats on it. You used to do that to change the stats, but they've changed the stat combos on gear now. And I was looking at the sateen shirt. I need 9 more shadow fur. Well, let's see how much shadow fur will set me back. Crafting, you've never done that? It's relatively straightforward. I am not a huge fan of some of the mechanics. It's extremely grindy after the first couple of levels. If you're going to level up, you always want to make every recipe at least once. You get a much larger XP burst from making an item the first time than making it every other time. Shadow fur. I needed like 9, I think it was. Okay, well, that's not bad. We'll grab 9. I'll buy 9 and it will turn out that I needed 10. That's my prediction. That's a classic Lens thing to do. How many did I need? 9, I think. I'll buy 9. No, I needed 10. So I'll show you. I'll make this as an example. You see the little yellow lines here? That means I've never made that recipe. So I'll get a big XP bonus if I make those. This is the current XP level. How many hours do I have in New World? I can tell you that in just a second. Now keep in mind, I got into New World in the alpha. One of the earliest publicly available alphas. And that doesn't show up. I have 450.8 hours. And probably another 150 in the alpha and beta. So these yellow lines next to the icons, the pictures, tell me that it is a recipe I've never made. I will get an XP bonus. So we need, I got it right. It was exactly 9. We'll need 22 sateen, 12 shadow fur, 1 steel ingot, a craft mod if we want. This will make me receive less physical damage from ranged and physical attacks. That's not bad, but I want to hold on to that for later. But you can also add in Azoth. I'm already at the Azoth cap, so I might as well. This will improve it so that it has better odds of getting an inherent and a perk. And we hit, I'm currently at 64, so making this will get me to 69. That gave me 5 levels of XP. 69 again. Nice. See? I can't help myself. So, this is what it made. It is better armor than what I'm wearing. What I'm wearing has wellness. This has wellness. That has life steal. This has fortification. After dodging an attack, you gain a fortify, which increases the armor. That's not bad. I like the look of the sateen shirt better, and I made it, so I'm personally connected with this item of attire. It's kind of spiffy looking. I'll hold on to that for now, in case I feel like swapping back. But that's the basics of crafting. It's every 50 crafting, you get access to the next tier. And it can be very, very grindy. Especially as you get to the higher tiers. What I would like to do is get one more... Oh, one more... I have 7 points available. I am going right now, adding those into focus to get myself to 25. Map. We have another point in Everfall. Go with the crafting fee. I wanted to see what I can do in the way of finishing out the card, the activity card. I need one of these. So, the hatchets. I'm just going to gather 134 wood. And that'll allow me to finish up this card. If I had a hatchet. That's how powerful I am. I use my mind. Who needs an axe when you have the power of your mind? Oh, okay, I pulled out the axe now. Differences now compared to when it was in alpha. It was a PvP-centric game. It's funny. A lot of the people who wanted it to be a PvP game complain about the Care Bears killing the game. I would like to, at least to one person, tell what actually happened. What happened was, I'm not sure if you're familiar with heat maps. Heat map is basically, they take the map of the world and you put a little red dot every time somebody dies. Is what the heat map of deaths looked like for this game. And the guys at New World had designed the game to get away from certain PvP problems that usually pop up, which is ganking lower level characters and killing characters, you know, basically right outside of town. And what did they find? They found that the overwhelming majority of deaths were occurring just outside of towns, and they were done by higher level characters killing lower level characters. They realized that, hey, we designed this to be a PvP game where those things didn't happen. Ooh. Logging 50. Well, I can now chop down mature wood. Don't say it. The old man does not want jokes about mature wood. So, what occurred was they said, this is not what we wanted the PvP to be like in this game. What are we going to do? And they decided, okay, we'll re-emphasize into PvE/PvP. I think I've got everything I needed, right? Did I not get the notification? I did. So what killed the PvP focus for the game? Not the Care Bears, not the PvEers. The PvPers killed it themselves. Now, we have one free wild stamp. Well, let's finish off that line. And now we have a wild stamp again, and we have a wild stamp again, and oh, we now have 3 wild stamps. We finished off the card. We've gotten to level 11. It's glorious. Yeah, they just found out that the way they had designed the incentives to stop people from doing the kinds of PvP that people hate, the negative stuff, the ganking, the spawn camping, all of that stuff, everything they put in place to stop that from happening did nothing. People still did all of that bullshit. When the game came out, it had good ideas. It had a lot of problems. Honestly, at the time, thought they would kill the service. You're so glad they're still working on it. They did a lot of improvements over time. And I definitely want to compliment the team on the things they have done. But they've also made a lot of really poor decisions about the longevity of the game that have taken them a long time to fix, if they've fixed them. And they moved a lot of the team over to the Lord of the Rings game that they're working on. So it is still being improved, but it is not a primary focus for Amazon Game Studio. They're still a team. I think it's probably a pretty small team. They have some good people working there because they make some good stuff. But it's, again, it's just not a primary focus for Amazon Game Studio. It had good ideas. Well, I mean, I liked the core gameplay even when it was PvP, and I don't like PvP. My biggest complaint about the current state of the game, I would have to see more of the new zone and content to make up my mind as to what the biggest problem would be. I'm going to say that even with a lot of people coming back to the game and some people discovering that, hey, there's a good solid game here, that they're going to work all their way through the end, they're going to get to the end game, and they're going to be disappointed in the end game that they've got. And I'm not much of an end game player, so I don't think, for me, that's necessarily a huge issue. But I think for the good of the game, I think it is an issue. I think we'll have to wait and see how content like the Catacombs work out. If the Catacombs are popular with players, then that is a huge win for the team. But if people find it just boring and repetitive or non-rewarding, then I don't think it's going to improve the longevity. So the amount of content I have seen in the new zone, I'm at 68, so I'm, 3 out of 5 levels. I wasn't impressed with the quantity or the quality. I'm not saying it was bad. I just wasn't wowed, which I was kind of hoping to be wowed by it. So I haven't seen enough of the new content to make a judgment on that. If I had a complaint, my biggest complaint would be, I'm not sure that how much Amazon Game Studio is willing to continue to put into the game. I'm not convinced, I'm not sold that Amazon Game Studio has the will or the people to keep supporting the game in a way it deserves. It has a loyal player base, and I think because we're seeing a big bump in numbers again, if they support the game, if they throw some marketing behind it, if they throw a few more engineers and developers working on it, they can keep the game moving forward and maybe even thriving, growing. My biggest worry about the game is that they won't, that they don't care enough to do that. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I am mistaken, and in fact they will do all of those things. Knock on wood. But I am going to call it here for the evening. I want to thank everyone for hanging out, in particular Alan Meyerless, is that correct? Meyerless 7030, regardless, you know who you are. I always feel like I'm a better and more engaging streamer when I have an engaged chat. So thank you very much for providing that tonight. I will be back at my usual time tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, middle of the night in Europe, morning in Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. I don't know what I'm going to be playing. I'm going to be playing whatever the bleep I want to because it's my annual Mortality Reminder Day. I will also be enjoying adult leisured beverages to excess. A little drinky poo, or 12. But again, thank you all very much for hanging out. As always, I appreciate it. Speaking of the Lord of the Rings, am I excited about the game? They have some talented people at AGS, but we don't know anything about it. So I can't get excited or even very interested yet. Oh, see me tomorrow? Well, thank you. That would be nice. More people around is always better. So we just don't know enough to know for me to be excited or even very interested in the game. When they offer us some more information, I'll certainly pay attention. But until then, when it comes to MMOs, I've learned, until we have some actual information, it's dream dust. But I am going to call it here. Again, thank you all for hanging. Hopefully you will see me soon. I hope the rest of your Saturday evening, Sunday morning, goes great. Take care. Hope the rest of the day, morning, evening, afternoon, choose one or more, goes great. Take care and ciao for now.